Well, new here at 10 o'clock tonight. For years now, residents in the New Washington Heights neighborhood have been pushing against the construction of a new Greenlink bus facility. Well, as you can see, that project is already underway. However, residents aren't backing out of this fight. While they continue to push back, they're also demanding answers from County Council about why a plan to revitalize the community never happened.
Fox Carolina's Kennedy Harris tells us more.
I see those bulldozers, and I'm not wavered.
For Angela Aiken, New Washington Heights has always been home. Years before these bulldozers sat at the entrance of her community, her and her neighbors were looking forward to change.
We were promised a lot of stuff by the county.
She's talking about this, a 2013 neighborhood master plan. It details a neighborhood revitalization, including streetscape improvements, low-income housing, home renovation, and trails. Aiken says after council adopted it, residents were told the county was waiting for funding.
We waited and waited and waited, but behind closed doors, there was another deal brewing.
Aiken says the county's decision to give away the land for Greenlink's bus facility violated the plan.
Whenever you go to binding stuff that you put on paper, it's like a contract. And we feel like our contract was broken.
Now the area they thought might be a park is a hard hat zone. For some people, the change is already here, with a construction fence line in their backyards and just steps away from the community center.
They can go out their back doors, and in just a few steps, they right at the fence where this is taking place at.
We asked, and the county says community plans are guiding documents, and recommendations outlined in the plan can be done with or without county assistance. But Aiken feels the neighborhood's needs and desires then and now continue to be ignored.
It feel like somebody just set the house on fire, and you don't have anywhere to go, and being at home should be the safest place in the world to anybody. When they go home, they ought to be safe. They ought to feel safe. They ought to feel secure. I don't feel secure.
Kennedy Harris, Fox Carolina News.
Well, the New Washington Heights Neighborhood Associations teamed up with the Justice Intervention Initiative, calling for an economic blockade against the city of Greenville. Now, Aiken says the organization is also seeking an attorney to pursue legal action to stop construction of that bus hub.